That doesn't get old, so that convertible feel. We're missing fun cars like this in the world. Honestly, I don't want to take this back. Hello everyone and welcome to the Carcode YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Sam. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. First of all, I want to say a huge thanks to Mazda UK for having me along for one of their drive days. This is the updated 2024 model Mazda MX-5 RF. RF stands for retractable fastback. They've given it a few tweaks for the 2024 model, which I'll be going through. This is the RF model and that is the soft top. I'll be looking at the two of them, comparing the differences, looking into the engines, trims, colours, etc. and giving you a full overview. If that sounds good, keep watching to the end to get a full overview of the 2024 Mazda MX-5. Can we just address the elephant in the room? No, I'm not 6'5", I'm 5'7", 5'8". This is just very low, but it's big, like it's wide, it's big. On photos it looks tiny, but it's quite wide and quite long, but so tiny, like tiny, which it's like it's kind of made for me. Coming to the front of the MX-5, and something that's kind of been criticised for it is that it's looked very similar since 2015 when it was first launched. Well, I think that doesn't really matter because it's a fun car. It's a cult classic and it looks great. Obviously it came out in 1989, the MX-5, and it's done so well since then. They've updated these LED headlamps, so the daytime running lights used to be just down here on like a strip, you know, with dots of LED daytime running lights. They're now included in the headlamp units. They look a lot better. High intensity headlights as well. They look really, really bright. And then your LED daytime running lights are split up there and then they're there. Look really nice and does give it a bit more of a modern look rather than the ones down here which look a bit more like they've been stuck on. That is more blended in and just gives it a more modern feel. You've also got a new paint colour which is the Aero Grey Metallic, and that's £570. There's 7 different exterior colours to choose on the MX-5. This is the Soul Crystal Red, which is kind of Mazda's signature colour, and it's £810, so you pay for the privilege of having this colour. The standard colour is Arctic White. It's a nice flat white, but nothing exciting. Your metallics are £570. I actually quite like the new Zircon sand colour, which is kind of a beigey sand. It looks quite nice. You've also got the Crystal Blue, which is probably my favourite and looks really classy. If you want machine grey, that's a little bit more expensive. It's £690, so that's that dark metallic grey, which is obviously kind of like the most popular colour at the moment. But I think the blue is my favourite, or even the Zircon colour. I do like that too. The alloy wheels depend on what trim you go for. It starts off with 16-inch gloss black alloys on the Prime line car. They look really nice, just suit the look of the car. It then is also 16-inch alloy wheels on the exclusive line, but in the colour bright, which is like a really lovely chrome look, silver. I think black and silver wheels really suit the look of the MX-5. If you go for the Homura spec, like this one here, which starts at £37,000 for the RF model, you get these 17-inch gun metallic BBS factory fitted alloy wheels. The multi-spoke, they really give you that sort of modified JDM car look. I love it, and it's straight out of the factory with BBS wheels. They look insane, they look really good, and then you've even got your Brembo brakes on there as well in red on this Homura spec car. Looks really great, suits the look of the vehicle, fills out the wheel arches nice. They look excellent. Let's have a look inside though and see what that's like on the MX-5. I'll try and get it as less muddy as I can. Inside the MX-5, what's it like? Well, it certainly doesn't feel outdated at all, even though much of it's the same. These sort of toggles and switches are all incredibly easy to use. Maybe they don't look the most up to date, but they're not an issue. I'd rather them be easy than look really sleek and modern. You've got heated seats on this Homura spec. Nice. Touch to start, of course, keyless entry and start. 6-speed manual is in a great place. You've got a normal handbrake. This is part of the fun of this car. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if it had an electric handbrake. I'd probably actually prefer that still, just because it's what I'm used to, and I think that would add a modern touch, but I don't think people mind this. I don't mind it. I think people would kick off more if it had an electronic handbrake than it had this one. You've got your roof control here. Oh, it's so weird that it's all automatic, that you don't have to do anything. And then the top goes back on. So you're in a bit more of a kind of coupe rather than a soft top that goes all the way back like it does on the normal MX-5. So it's not proper cabriolet, it's more like a Fiat 500 convertible, that kind of feel, where the roof's open, but it's not like fully open like the normal MX-5. But this car gives you a more refined cabin when you've got the roof up and a sleeker coupe look. You've got this new 8.8-inch center screen, which looks incredible. It's all controlled through this little thing here. It's very like BMW's iDrive system, and you can see it looks really modern and fresh inside. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are also standard on the new MX-5, and then the screen becomes a touch screen instead. I really like the way that it looks. Pretty much central, so it's not facing too far away from me, which is great. Leather wrapped steering wheel is lovely and thin with the nice light grey stitching. Round, fully round, looks great. You've got this digital dials here. It does look really nice. I like that they brought the exterior colour inside as well. Just adds a pop of fun. You've got two cup holders here as well. And then you've got a little bit of storage lockable in here as well. These are the Recaro leather and Alcantara seats as well on this Homura, which are really nice and hug you in a little bit. You don't have adjustable lumbar support, but they're pretty comfortable, so shouldn't be an issue. I'll pop it into reverse so you can see the rear camera. Nice and clear, and you've got rear sensors, which is really useful as well. So yeah, really nice inside. This is 184 PS, this one, so it's the 2 litre. It's not really the day for a rear-wheel drive sports car, is it really? Surprisingly, I thought I'd have to give it a bit more revs than I am. It's actually quite nice to drive. There's two different engines. There's a 1.5 and there's a 2 litre. This is the 2 litre 184 PS car. Unfortunately, it's not hydraulic, but that doesn't really matter. It's nice and lightweight. Oh, that's hot. That's very hot because the engine's been on. There's two choices of engine. There's a 1.5 naturally aspirated Skyactiv G with 132 PS, and there's this 2 litre Skyactiv G engine with 184 PS. This RF model is slightly heavier than the soft top model, so the 0 to 60 times are 0.3 of a second slower. So 0 to 60 on the RF model, for the 1.5 it's 8.7 seconds, and for this 2 litre it's 6.8 seconds. On the soft top, it's 6.5 for the 2 litre, and for the 1.5, it's 8.4. So not a huge difference, you won't notice that. It's a 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated, not turbocharged, but you do have a really high red line, so you can proper rev it. You have a smooth power delivery, so you don't get that oomph of a turbo, which I actually really enjoy driving a turbo myself. This is just a different driving experience altogether. Exclusively offered with a 6-speed manual gearbox, and they're all rear-wheel drive as well. Doesn't this look like a beautiful engine though? If you do want to opt for this, you've got to go for the Homura or the exclusive line specifications. The exclusive line, this is around a £3,000 premium on the 1.5 engine. And you will sacrifice a little bit of a fuel economy as well. One thing to note, the 12-volt battery is in the front of the car under the bonnet, which is really convenient if you ever need to jump start it. It does about 40 mpg official, which isn't bad for like weekend car. And I think I could get good miles per gallon out of this, you know. This is 2 litre, it's got 6 gears, I could put it in a nice high gear, just cruise along, and I reckon I'd get 50 miles per gallon. That's just me, I literally think I could get that out of any car. Oh, I just saw 124 Spider there. You don't have to push this car everywhere. Your rear window's actually impressively quite good, and the way they've configured the mirror as well, the setup, you can see well. It's not a turbo, which the Fiat 124 Spider, which was based on this platform, was a turbo, and that was a 1.4 turbo, and I'd always want to drive one of them to see what that's like. That always really appealed to me, that vehicle. I thought that looked great, but they don't make that. They stopped that in 2018. It's a lot of fun. Of course, I could really be pushing it and I could be flying around these corners, but I don't want to do that. I just want to take it easy. I want to come back in one piece. And a lot of people are saying it's getting on a bit because it's come out in 2015. There's no other car that really competes with it on the same level. I don't really understand which part of it's getting on a bit. Like, it's fun. When there's such high demand for unique vehicles, novelty vehicles out there, like the Suzuki Jimny, which is like an ancient artifact. So let's see how easy it is to maneuver around. Okay, that was nice. That was quick and that was simple. and you don't have to proper give it loads of revs, which I thought you might have to. Like a Honda S2000, I thought you're gonna have to give it a load. It's so good, the naturally aspirated engine anyway. You get that smooth power delivery that everyone goes on about. You don't get that zoom of turbo. Owning a turbo vehicle, I do like having the turbo. I do prefer it, but this is fun too. You know what to expect depending on what gear you're in. You know if you really want to push it, you're going to have to put it into a lower gear and give it some gas. So it is more of a raw driving experience than what it would be to drive a turbo vehicle. But it's really funny, the roof, so I am actually going to drive it topless, of course, not with my top off, with the roof off. I've got the roof off. Okay. Handbrake down. Off we go. Okay, go. It doesn't feel as much like a convertible, obviously, as a normal MX-5 would, but it's nice because it's almost like they've made a coupe of the MX-5 and they've made a convertible of the MX-5, if that makes sense. But with the coupe, you still have the option to have it kind of convertible-ish. 6 miles per hour. That's a bit slow, that you can only do it to 6 miles per hour, and it's starting to rain. And so we're going to have to go under 6 miles per hour to do this roof. And it just stops doing it if you're going faster than 6. It's a bit mad, that. So this is the MX-5 exclusive line, and then we've got the MX-5 RF here, Homura model, in the new Aero Grey. Actually looks really good. This is the Zircon Sand. Controversial, but I actually really like it. This is the 1.5 model, so I'm going to see how that compares to a 2 litre, and obviously how the soft top compares. So let's have a drive of this one. Quick disclaimer, this mess was not me, okay? I did not take this off-roading. There you go, so it's just manual, the roof. So, not electric like the RF, but then you've got a whole convertible. That is pretty cool. Windows down. This is my type of car, and doesn't this suit this backdrop? This is the 1.5 132 PS model, so 129 brake horsepower. It's surprisingly smooth as well. I thought because it wasn't the 2 litre, it might feel a little bit less smooth, but it sounds the same, even a bit quieter than that car. And honestly, I don't need a fast vehicle. I'd honestly go for this one. But I personally, I mean, if you're a speed demon, then you'll go for the 2 litre. They've also got loads of different other bits and bobs on them, like new limited slip differential on it, things like that. It's so refreshing. I don't feel that cold actually. I thought I'd be freezing, but I'm not. And honestly, that doesn't get old, that convertible feel. When I had the T-Roc convertible for a few days, loved that. And I love this as well. Honestly, I don't want to take this back. This one's perfect as well because it's got the Bose sound systems. The 16-inch wheels on this ride a bit more smooth than the 17s on the Homura. It isn't crazy fast or anything like that. It's just a nice car. So I'm gonna give it a little spin around. It's just good fun. We're missing fun cars like this in the world. Like Jeremy, the director, said, there's nothing like driving an MX-5 with a manual gearbox, and it can be hard to imagine it electrified. So maybe that's hinting to something else, but he couldn't say much more, which is completely fair. And I do like the more raw and raucous feel of a proper soft top rather than the hard top convertible. Visibility is a little bit less in this than the RF. And of course, refinement might be a bit less as well because it's a proper convertible rather than a hard top convertible. It says it's been averaging 42.2 miles per gallon. Very close to its 44 official. Yeah, I just like this more. I don't know what it is. Obviously, it's a bit more of a manual thing to get the roof off. And it looks great and it looks modern now. Mazda, I think I might be buying one of these.